that leads me to my next question. So, what is D-Town Boogie?
Man, it's a good time. Like honestly, it can be a release. Like it can be therapy too. I've had people who came to my class and just lost like a mom. Like had a mom pass away, and they were like, "I'm looking forward to your class, bro. Like I need to express. I need to get it out."
Right.
So D-Town Boogie is the community, honestly. Like not to say like a dance community, but the people in Dallas, like as a whole.
Yeah.
Because it didn't just come from one person, you know what I'm saying? It was like gathering. Like I feel like every time we have a session, like somebody do something new with it, or do a new move, or a little strut move, or something like that.
Right.
It's something crazy. It's always growing, and D-Town Boogie young still. You know what I'm saying? It's still a young thing. So
it does kind of give me that house party feel.
Yeah.
When I watch it, I'm gonna be like, these niggas is really they really in here getting it.
Yeah, it's really the freedom of expression, like to be your like authentic. So that's why I say ratchet energy. It's like being yourself, like to the max. It's unapologetically you.
Right.
Yeah, of course positively, like you don't be turned up doing crazy stuff.
Right.
Like, it's a safe environment. Like everybody's come, have security on deck. Like it's a good time. But yeah, D-Town Boogie is just express, like it's just culture. It's a DFW culture. Like it's kind of hard to just put in like a word, because it's like it could be party, but you know in high school we got people having sessions in between classes or at lunch and in the parking lot. So it can be so many different things.
That's dope, man. That's dope. I definitely think and I know it from the outside looking in. Obviously, as as a dancer, obviously any dance can be therapy for you. But looking at D-Town Boogie, it definitely seems like the livelihood in terms of like dance. Like this seems like truly like this dance seems very happy. And I always tell people, I was like, it's great to express your emotions and have those, in a sense, kind of down moments or dark moments to where you express, because that's what you need to do. But you do need to kind of put yourself in a different frequency, as you said. Like D-Town Boogie definitely seems like this is the one to where it's like, all right, guys, we're gonna turn up. It's gonna be a good time. You finna sweat. This is what we're finna do.
Yeah,
so.
And it's like the moves don't have to be perfect either. It's like I'll give you a blueprint, and however you execute it, that's how you feel about it.
Right.
Because even like you see some moves, it's one move, but that person do it a little different. It's how they feeling or how much they tilt their head back or something. It's just, it's a body thing. It's a language. It's crazy. Yeah.
That's dope. So how did the so what made you like start teaching D-Town Boogie?
I got bored. I got bored.
All right.
I was like.
So were you teaching choreography before?
Yeah, it was a point in time I was teaching at five different studios.
Wow.
Hip hop, some like beginner crump for like the younger kids. But yeah, I was teaching at 5 different studios, just kind of going back and forth from Mesquite to White Settlement in Fort Worth. Like that's how wide I was moving around. Ooh. And it was just a grind thing, honestly. Then last year, 2020, literally right before COVID, the pandemic happened. I was already doing freestyle D-Town Boogie videos. And what kind of made me just do it, Quentin did a class where he did Dougie Blast.
Okay.
And it's kind of, he had some D-Town Boogie moves, but it was still kind of hip hop.
Right.
So I was like, I want to do like a just authentic like D-Town Boogie, straight D-Town Boogie class. And at the time, I didn't even know how I was gonna teach it. Right. It was all freestyle based.
Yeah.
And so like, some things we have like the Dougie or Ricky Bobby, stuff like that. But we don't have like a straight, a dictionary of certain moves for D-Town Boogie. So it was literally like, okay, I got to figure out how I'm gonna teach it. Like I know I can do it, but how I'm gonna get this person who don't even know what it's about to do the movement and feel good about it. So I was like, let me just try it out. So I had a class and like 20 people came out and it was a good look. I had danced to, it was a Young Nation song I did, but I ended up doing it in Dallas and then did it in Plano at what's that studio I don't think it's here anymore.
DFC.
DFC, yeah, they
Right.
brought me out. Shout out to DFC. They had me do D-Town Boogie class out there. And that's when I knew it was like, okay, this could be something. Because
Right.
just the reaction, it was like excitement. It was excitement from like not just, Fort Arlington, but Plano. It was like, yo,
Right.
like when you coming out here? I was like, okay, cool. So moving forward, had linked up with Al, and he was like, yo, like you should try like having a DJ, kind of liven it up. And I was like, all right, cool. So he came out, and like that's how the like sessions started happening. Because people in the performance world, like when you're doing a class, they teach you not to stop dancing until the music stops.
Right.
So you got this time to freestyle and show what you can do. So that's how the whole D-Town Boogie session started happening.
Fire.
Organically, just like, you have your groups. So everybody want to get their time in.
Right.
So everybody just started showing out, and before you know it, loop the song back and just had people session to it.
That's dope.
So I was like, okay, we're gonna start doing like a after session, sage session. And I call it a sage session because it's more of the culture exchange between like crump.
Right.
You have Afrobeat, you got D-Town Boogie, and then you have all styles that just come in and just want to learn.
Right.
Just kind of exchange. So that's where the whole sage session thing came about. But then I started like shooting it to artists because I knew out here in Dallas it's kind of how like everything was booming. Like from the artists, that's what we're dancing to.
Right.
So first artist I reached out to, Lil Ronnie, and told him about it. And I was just like, yo, if you want to pop out and see what it's about, I'll be there. Like him and DJ Paparon pulled up.
That's fire, man.
And yeah, it was lit. I didn't expect them to like even care. Like honestly,
That's
like
a good
it's
look,
like, so after that, I was kind of like, I got to keep this going. So I started doing hip hop and D-Town Boogie like the same night. And so I started having like 20, 25 people like just kind of waiting for class to start. So I was like, well, let me do a night to where I tried out for like club hours. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, because I was just like, I want people that didn't get to experience like the DMX, and, Cirque and stuff like that,
Yeah, man.
to kind of get an idea, how we got down, like growing up and stuff like that. So I was like, well, I'm gonna do it from 10 to 2.
Right.
That was New Year's, 2021, yeah. New Year's, I had told Quentin about it, Icebreaker. He was just like, try it, just try it out. So I had a crazy turnout, and I wasn't expecting it because of the time frame. But for me, I'm a person that's like, if I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, and then whoever's supposed to be there is supposed to be there,
Right.
regardless if it's 2 or 3 people. So after I had the first one, the first Club Legendary, and it went real good. And then the reaction from the videos went crazy with the artists, just because it was kind of boosting like the artists in Dallas again, because people started remembering the songs from back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
And then other artists started coming out. Fat Pimp came, Leon Bridges, he came out. Who am I missing? I know I'm missing. Oh Boy Prince. Lil Ronnie came out twice. He came out again.
Yeah.
So it's been all love. Like people been just reaching out. So it's not only just like a dance community thing now. It's the community of Dallas, like showing love and coming out. Like I have like vendors from different local brands. Like shout out to No Pressure, Creative
Shouts
Couture.
out. No
Like
Pressure
they
Apparel.
look
Appreciate
out.
you.
Y'all look out. So yeah, it's just honestly, it's for the people. Like
Right.
it's got way bigger than me. So I'm just like doing what I got to do now to keep it afloat. So
That's good, man. That's good. I mean, like, it's your, you're a conduit, for all these movements and these dancers and all these people, obviously. So that's a good look, man. That's really good, man. I definitely think that, if I want to be honest, man, I've always felt that like Dallas is like really slept on. Like when it comes to the community scene, like everybody always looks past us and goes directly to Houston.
Yeah.
Even now, and I think in the last like 10 years, even some people they look at San Antonio they've always looked at Austin and Houston, but it's now even like kind of San Antonio is kind of like creeping up past Dallas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's important, man, for us to get as many people who are down to truly ride, for for D-Town. Like, man, so it's dope that what you're doing right now, man.
Yeah, I think it's helping that we getting more, we taking more serious in the industry with it.
Right.
Because since we have people behind it and that it is structured in a class way, it's more acceptable to other people. And even with us doing just the visuals, like with the recording in class, I pay for the quality just because I know how artists are with, visuals.
Right.
How to get their music out there.
Right.
If they see like, oh, D-Town Boogie can fit not just in D-Town Boogie music, but he can do D-Town Boogie to any song.
Absolutely.
And boom, like we out here. So it's just like, it just takes us taking ourselves serious, honestly, that we can be on that level.
Absolutely. And you brought up an interesting point, like as far as though I go, as far as like with the industry and like, being taken more seriously. How does that process look for you, of course with D-Town Boogie, because in this, obviously now more than ever, like we've run into the issues as far as like with TikTok, where they had I had it on the last video, I talked about it before, but they brought this young lady on Jimmy Kimmel, who did a bunch of these dances that black content creators had and gave none of them the credit for it. Like, do you run into those issues, or have some of those concerns, or is there
it's definitely a concern, but that's why I'm big. We have to be big on marketing too, because we have to know if it's not my face, it got to be somebody else from out here that's kind of like pushing it, that's getting it into the door. I was lucky to be able to implement some stuff with the Dallas Mavericks, working with them. Right. And that just came from just being me and staying true to what it is I'm trying to accomplish, not kind of getting caught up in like, oh, just kind of, just roll with it. Or like, nah, if we get caught up in like trying to work with these certain people that we kind of sacrifice some of our like own values, like integrity, just to kind of get that credit. Right. So it's just kind of like, once you value it at that level, like the right people will see it and kind of gravitate to it. Gotcha. So that's why shout out to Leon Bridges, because he brought me out to LA to really put D-Town Boogie out there on his last his recent album for his visual.
Oh, thank you. Well, shouts out to him. Appreciate you rocking with anybody that helps Dallas, that helps somebody from Dallas. You helping the community, so we definitely appreciate it. So what would you say the goal is for you? What would you say, if your success continues the way that it does, what would you expect yourself in a 5 to 10 year frame?
5 to 10 years, for me, it's always been bigger than me. So I want to put Dallas in that position where it's like Atlanta is, on that level where we're getting those opportunities, because we getting a lot of a talent lost here because they felt like it's nothing here. Right.
Everybody's trying to move to LA or New York
or Atlanta. I know Atlanta popping, but it's people from Atlanta really rock with what we got going on too.
Is the scene really that big out in Atlanta?
Atlanta's,
really.
And I want people to go out there just to even train, just like don't get caught up in just being here. Like, you got to go experience everything else. But Atlanta, that's like my second home. Like,
word.
Yeah, for real. Dang, man. I got family and everything out there. So.
Gotcha. I fuck with Canada heavy, bro.
Yeah.
Like, bro, Canada's got a fire scene. It's just, it's always a weird contrast when you step outside the country, because a lot of the dances that obviously it's like you appreciate stuff that's like always right there for you. And even despite the fact that, the birthplace of, hip hop is here and funk and all the other stuff that we have here, it's pretty much like, maybe a flight away, but for other people that are across the world, they want to come to the birthplace. You know what I'm saying? They're flying halfway across the world to come see it. So when me and Britt went to Canada about 6 or 7 years ago, I think, and I went out there, they couldn't speak a lick of English. Luckily, 7-Star and Terminator were there to rock with me. Yeah. But they walked up to me and they were just like, oh, rounds? You go rounds? I was just like, yeah, sure, why not?
Like, I want to test my strength.
Yeah, and because they were just like they could like smell, ooh, American.
Oh man,
they're like American. I was like, oh okay, and it was humbling, but at the same time, I truly appreciate it out there. And they have such, in my person, at least from the fact that we couldn't communicate, I think it like raised my awareness on a very high level, because like the purity of like how they were dancing out there. It's like there's
The
no
body
words, there's no
language.
exactly. It was just there, and they proceeded to dance like 7-8 rounds each, and then battle. And I was
battle?
and then battle, and I was just like, I said, okay, they really battled out here.
Yeah, they get down. I have noticed that. I think we do kind of take it for granted at times. Like, oh, it's here. Like,
Right.
yeah, it's here. We good. Like,
Right.
But they really working. They like, oh, we coming for y'all. Like,
Yeah, I see it.
I think this is an honor thing too. It's just like, oh, like we expect that from y'all, so we gonna bring that.
Right.
Yeah, that's dope.
Man, well, that's why I said I will personally never sleep like on overseas or in the international or eastern side hemisphere of the world, like ever. Anybody across the Atlantic, even on the Pacific, you know what I mean? Like I don't slack on them, man, because I see how heavy they are in the dance scene, man. They're like they got the Red Bull competitions and stuff like that. People are coming from all over the world, to compete and stuff like that. And it's respectfully, it's like we see a lot of people that are sometimes outside the United States that are dominating these genres of dance. True. No disrespect, I'm a big fan of him, but like my personal opinion, like Hong Ting is like he's like the number one b-boy in the world right now. You know what I'm saying? But the birthplace is here. But he's shouts out to Soul Bob, but he reminded me last Sunday at Battlegrounds. Shouts out to Claudia and the Battleground crew, Leo J, Soulbot, rocking every Sunday at the Brain Dead Brewery. Please make sure you go out if you're in Dallas. But he just reminded me, he's like, yeah, Hong Ten is 42. And I was just like, damn, he is 42. I was in high school watching these kids, watching him at like IBE and Battle of the Year and stuff like that, watching him fly everywhere, all under the age of 30. And now he's 42. Because I'm 32, so it's like, they up there, man.
Yeah.
So it really puts in perspective. It made me ask, like, okay, Trent, how much are you really dedicating to this craft?
Yeah, I just watched a dude who was 70 do muscle ups. I was just like, I just turned 30, so it's like I'm not old at all. I'm just kind of a little lazy sometimes. Like
perspective, man, it's definitely crazy, man. But so what's one thing that you want to see from the DFW community? If it's you could have one thing that you could just manifest right now, what would it be?
One thing is that everybody know what they want to do. Honestly, I think that's kind of been the big issue. Is we have, even for me, I had to like kind of step back and really even ask some of my students, like, do y'all want to do this? Like, how far do you want to take this? Because I know how serious it is for me, but some people may do this just because it's a mental thing. It's like it helps me navigate through life. So I think if everybody figures out what they want to do, and those people who want to do it on this level kind of get together and structure, how we want things to look for the dance community, and I think that's what needs to happen. But I don't think everybody knows what they want to do.
Yeah, the decisiveness is very important. And I even had to do that. Like, unfortunately, my last fam, a lot of them, they were here. You know what I mean? And then when I kind of took some time to kind of evaluate, step back, and then just realize, like, they not here for you like you are. So
yeah, that's a reflection of people outside of dance. Like, how are you as a person too? Like, are you lazy? Like, because that's gonna carry over into the dance world.
Facts.
So I feel like we should have some type of background checks type of thing for like Dallas, especially because we got so much potential here. It's crazy, but it just takes a little bit of. We gotta have some type of authority. You know what I'm saying? Some consequences for certain things, but once people know exactly what they want to do, like for me, I feel like my part is kind of bridging the gap between the industry and like the talent, honestly, because I've worked with a lot of artists who don't know how to work with dancers or know what it takes to be a professional dancer. Because I've had artists, can you give me 50 dancers, but I don't have a budget? I'm like, I can find you 50 dancers, but they're not gonna be, camera ready. I can find 50 dancers though.
Right.
So once people figure out what they want to do, then cool. I think it'll help navigate and kind of put people in like, oh, since you doing this on this level, your intentions are this. You take this group and do that with it. Or if you're not a teacher, then we'll put some teachers over here that do that type of thing. yeah, that's what I think it'll take. Cause like, what do you want to do? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. Yeah. Nobody's gonna know but you.
Yeah.
Dope.